Welcome to Food for the Soul. I'm your host, Keanna Swindell, and on today's episode, we'll be giving you your fix of spiritual and intellectual nourishment. So stay tuned, we'll be right back.
I am for the child who's had 7 addresses in a single year because she's in foster care, because her father abused her, and her mother couldn't believe her. She is the child I am for. I am a CASA volunteer. I am you.
Welcome back to Food for the Soul. I'm your host, Keanna Swindell, and on today's show, we're talking with local artists who are following their dreams and making a difference in the community. Joining us now is a member of the gospel go-go band, New Identity. Welcome to the show.
Hello, how you doing today?
I'm good, thank you. Okay. We're glad to have you, definitely glad to have you.
Glad to be here.
So, New Identity, I've heard a lot about you all.
Okay.
How'd you all get the name? How'd you come up with the name New Identity?
New Identity was a blessing. How we came up with the name New Identity stands for change.
Okay.
You know, change your heart, change the way you do things. According to the scripture, God said you will prosper even as your soul prosper. What is the soul? The soul is the mindset, your way of thinking. So when we came with New Identity, we use New Identity for change. So even when we play, you know, that's what the name New Identity stands.
Nice, I like that. I wouldn't naturally think that deep into it, and that really, I like the meaning behind it. So, but how'd you all get started?
Oh man, I'll tell you, New Identity came through at a difficult time.
Okay.
During the time when New Identity came through, I guess a couple of guys, they was going through it because first it wasn't a gospel go-go band.
Okay.
It was a regular go-go band, and with New Identity, people began to change their lives. You know, me when we started New Identity, when I came into New Identity, I had just went through broken marriage, broken relationship. So when I got with New Identity, you know, the word was so potent to New Identity, you know, helped me even to grow even more spiritually.
Okay. Wow, that's interesting. I've never really heard the dynamic of going from a regular go-go band to gospel, but either way, I really agree with the message. So, what would you say, how would you say you all have been received in the community? As we know, our area is go-go is very popular here, and it's not as many gospel go-go bands as it is your average or normal regular go-go band. How would you say you all have been received by the community?
You know what? One of my pastors used to say, it's the same dance, but you just change partners.
Okay.
And what I mean by that is, when you see a lot of the go-go bands, even the old go-go bands, like you talk about Backyard, you talk about Red S's, you talk about Junkyard, which was one of my favorite bands. When you see those guys, you see how they play in their heart and their soul into it, you know. So with New Identity, we play the same way. But the difference is we just talking about Jesus. We talking about how good God is. We talking about even after everything calmed down, we talk to the youth about, you know, living right, doing the right thing. Because nowadays when you listen to music now, you got the violence, not knocking the music down, but you got the violence, you got the cussing, you got the killing, and you got this, you know, where we want to do music where nobody gets shot.
I know.
You know, where it's all love, but they can still party.
Exactly.
They can party and have fun.
Exactly. You know, that's very rare these days because, like you said, our generation does have a lot of violence and things. But you still want to go have fun. But you might not always agree with everything that's being said in the music. But you still, you know, what can you do? You want to party. Well, I know that it's been. I would assume that you've all had faced some challenges trying to push, you know, your message.
Wow. We faced a lot of challenges, you know. We faced a lot of challenges even staying together, you know, because even even though we play all over, we still had challenges in the band. Whereas that we had some of the youth that we had in the band, some of the regular guys that was going through their own thing, that was going through their own broken relationship, that was going through their own struggles with God. So, you know, we had to come together as a whole and support each other so we can grow together. So, yeah, we had our struggles.
Okay. And how long has New Identity actually been together? Like, how many years have y'all been doing your thing?
Well, New Identity been together for years. First, like I said, New Identity was a go-go band that was called Remix.
Okay.
You know, it was called Remix, was a regular go-go band. And actually, I wasn't with them when it was called when it was a regular go-go band. But when they turned into a gospel go-go band, that's when, you know, I came with them, other people came with them, and we've been rolling ever since.
Nice. So would you say do you have like a lot of competition out in the area? Are you all like, you know, one of the few gospel go-go bands out, like, you know?
I say it's a lot of competition, but I think we one of the few go-go bands that's out. And go-go gospel is growing popular. You know, we trying to get the gospel go-go out there, and New Identity trying to get known, and we're trying to get ready for our CD cover. Okay,
that's exciting. That sounds very exciting. So do you all, you know, since gospel is your message, do you all play at churches? Like, would we happen to see you at a church somewhere around in the DMV area, or will we see New Identity's presence in some of our churches?
Oh yeah. Actually, we played in a couple of churches that we played in. Even actually where we really want to play, and let me dedicate this to my pastor, John K. Jenkins.
Okay.
Actually, where we actually really want to play at, but we haven't talked to our pastor yet, is First Baptist of Glen Arden. First Baptist of Glen Arden have an awesome youth day where a lot of the bands come together.
So, I've been to First Baptist a couple times. Yeah, I love that church too.
Yeah, I love Pastor Jenkins and Trina, you know, and hey, I love the way they keep the youth together. I love the way they just keep everything together. What I love is about Pastor and Trina is when they have a show, when they have real artists to come in, you don't have to pay. You know, he say, I feel like that y'all pay your tithes and things like that. So, hey, the show is free, you know, and God said, look, freely you give, freely you receive. So, you know.
And speaking of the youth, like you said, First Baptist does a great job with counseling the youth. We also, is it true that you all do some counseling yourselves, or, you know, working with the youth, or even with people in relationships, like not outside of your music? You all do some youth counseling?
Yeah. Usually, a lot of times when we have a show, a lot of times even after the shows is over, a lot of times we talk. We don't just, you know, just do a show and pack up and we gone. You know, we want the youth and the adults to be impacted. You know, let them know it's not just about the go-go band, but it's about a right way of living.
Nice. It's really important to, especially when you have, with our youth, they have a lot of other distractions that are not as positive as a spiritual message. So I really think that's a great way for you all to stay connected with the youth. So how can we, what do you expect, what can we expect from New Identity in the future? And how can people who are interested in your message, how can they keep up with you all or find New Identity?
Well, they can go to NIU Band Gospel Go-Go. They should be able to find it right there.
NIUBandGospel.com?
Yeah, .com. They should be able to find it right there.
NIUGospelGoGo.com. Okay. And what about you, particularly?
Oh man, I have so many visions and desires to do things. One of my desires that I wanted to do a book.
Okay.
That's my biggest desire, is to do a book called Keep the Spark.
Okay.
You know, keep the spark in your relationship, because so many times in relationships we fall apart. How do we fall apart, man? We fall apart because we let the relationship go sour. You know, we stop taking her out to dinner. We stop taking her to a movie. We stop telling her how beautiful she is. You know, so fellas, since we got that big ego problem, I love to show the fellas how to let that go. And even for the women, you know, to be able to adapt with their person they with, their fiance, their husband, how to keep the relationship strong, how to tell, you know, encourage your husband or encourage the person you with, you know, and things like that.
You know what? We will definitely, when you write that book, we want to have you come back on the show, okay? Mr. Robert Jackson, thank you so much for coming today and joining us. And when we come back, we will have local rap group Swagg, Stazz, and Straight Team. So stay right there. It's Food for the Soul.
Sing. And Tommy can't dance, so we're gonna put some ants in their pants. Aww, they walk like a monkey, hop like a bunny. Isn't that funny? Ants in their pants, they've got ants in their pants. They've got ants in their pants, they've got ants in their pants. Ants in their pants, they've got ants in their pants. They got ants in their pants. They've got ants in their pants.
One more time.
Jimmy can't sing, and Tommy can't dance, so we're gonna put some ants in their pants. Aww.
Kids will spend 22 minutes watching us, the super duper party troopers, sing about ants in their pants.
Isn't that funny? Ants in their pants, they got ants in their pants. They've got ants in their pants, they got...
Brushing for 2 minutes now can save your child from severe tooth pain later. 2 minutes, twice a day. They have the time.
Welcome back to Food for the Soul. I'm your host, Keanna Swindell, and today we're talking to local artists who are following their dreams and making a difference in their community. So joining us now are members of indie rap group Swagg, Stazz, and Straight Team. Welcome, guys. Thank you for coming.
Hey, nice. Hey. Thanks for inviting us.
Thanks for having us. Yeah, of course. So how did we come up with your name, Swagg, Stazz, and Straight Team? Like, let us know about that.
Speaking of Swagg, Stazz, you know, we just an independent rap group. We just, you know, one time we was drinking and chilling just in the city, PG County, and, you know, we just came up with a name, you know, because we know the way we dress, we got a lot of swag. So
okay.
Swags, and, you know, we feel like, you know, we're going to take it to the top, you know, so that's where we get Swagg Stazz from. How about you, man?
What about Straight Team? How you get that name?
Straight Team is actually a much broader name. Okay. It's a music label, so we actually have artists inside of Straight Team Entertainment. And Straight Team originated from Germany about in 2008, and the CEO and founder is Big Hooks. He came to the U.S., and so he's huge on indie artists. So the name started with him wanting to find artists with originality, with style, with swag. So somehow we got in touch with him at a party and hooked up with him. El Maxime, one of the artists. XLG Skin is one of the artists. And we have Lil Tizzle, and Big Hooks is also a brand name artist within Straight Team Entertainment.
Okay, so that's all your members right there that you just named? That's everybody?
Yes.
Okay, cool. Okay, so how long have you all been rapping? You know, and can we expect a mix from you guys? Like we might hear some R&B, maybe a little rap too, or you all, how would you classify yourself? Like straight rap? How long you been doing it?
Speaking for Straight Team Entertainment, I'm a pop artist now, but I actually, believe it or not, started with R&B, and I had to find my way.
Right.
I also have done gospel, so my next album is mostly going to be pop music mixed with, I'm planning to do 1 or 2 gospel in there, and then obviously collaborate with stars like XLG, Big Hooks, Lil Tizzle to do my R&B mixtures. Mostly we're hip hop, R&B, pop. So we have that flavor, spiciness going on.
Okay, I like that. Got a lot of diversity in there.
Right.
And what about you? How long have you been rapping?
As far as me, XLG Skinny, I've been rapping for 2 years now.
Okay.
And, you know, I actually been rapping ever since I was little, like about 16. But I actually just took it serious about 2 years ago. Feel like I could make something better out of it. So, you know, I just picked it up 2 years ago, originated my name from all my names, and, you know, made it all one. That's how we came XLG Skinny. I mean, that's how we came with the Skinny, but the XLG started with, you know, that's just my hustle, you know, the length of my hustle, how I grind. I put in hard work, so that's the extra large about it. So, yeah.
So we know all artists, whether you're a musician, a poet, everyone has some sort of influence. Everyone has, you know, their own favorite artists. Who are some of you all's favorite artists that also have influenced your work, be it the actual work you create or your own ambitions for your own career, like for success, you know? Who are y'all, some of your favorites?
Speaking for me, I kind of started out with Whitney Houston because I just loved it when, you know, you remember when I Love You came out. And then right now with the current trend, I think Kelly Rowland is one of my favorites. Nice. And then Jordan Sparks. In the newer generation type. So I'm big with those.
What about you, XOG? Skinny?
Started off, I was listening to Lil Wayne, you know, getting a little punchlines from there, you know, it really, really inspired me and made me feel like I could do something like that. So, you know, recently I started listening to people like Wiz Khalifa, Wale. Wale is really my favorite because I like, you know, type of words he spit out makes you think twice, you know, so that, you know, crazy. Yeah, that really, really inspired me. And, you know, you listen to my music, you hear stuff like that, you know, stuff that makes you go back and think twice, and you be like, wow, this dude is really, really deep in the music, you know. So, you know, people like that, you know, really, really inspired me, I'd like to say.
Okay. So, you know, what sets you all apart from other rappers or other artists? You know, what makes you all, you know, our area, DMV area, we have a lot of artists here. Right. And everyone, you know, a lot of people trying to have success in their career. What sets you guys apart?
I would say what really sets us apart is the fact that we have a unique team that combines pop, rap, hip hop, and a super swag.
Of course.
Super swag. We do combine super swag in it all, and when we hit the stage, it's on.
Yes.
It's on. So, again, like I said, we do acting as well. We're a team that likes to portray ourselves as young generation type music. Acting type group, so that really sets us apart. We can be on your soundtrack, we can also be in your movie, and we can hit the streets. We can be in Hollywood today, and we can be in Miami the next day. So that's what sets us apart.
Okay. So, you all have a song. Well, I think Swagg Stars. Correct me if I'm wrong. Has a song. On 9/11. It was about 9/11. I really liked that. Did you all want to, you know, what made you guys decide to go that route? And
yeah, actually, that song is just by me. You know, I decided to go that route because, you know, I could relate to a lot of people, you know, who lost their lives, and, you know, a lot of kids that lost their parents during that incident. And I really, you know, I don't have a way to reach them, you know. So I thought about it. I even tried to join the military, you know, just to, you know, pay my tribute and, you know, show some respect. So, you know, my vision is really, really just to touch the people and let them know that, you know, somebody's here. I feel the same way you feel. You're not left alone. So I just went ahead and made that record, you know, for the streets, to let them know that, yeah, you know, we're here.
That's really important because a lot of people don't, a lot of local artists too don't always tackle, countrywide, you know, nationwide issues in their rap, and that's definitely something I could say that I see has set you
Right.
off.
I mean, ever since Michael Jackson passed, you know, stuff like that don't really go on too much, you know. I just want to be like the Michael Jackson of rap, you know. So I just want to give the streets a little bit of flavor, you know, put some knowledge in the streets, not just all about violence and, you know, sex, drugs, money, and all that.
Our generation has gotten a little bit away from the positive messages, but it's still, you all show an example how it still can be cool, you still can have your swag and still be a star, and still also uplift people and give them a more positive message.
Absolutely. I really enjoyed that track when he did it. Again, like I said, we all talked about it, and we realized a lot of people don't understand that the people in uniform, they put their lives out there for us every single day, even their children, their wives. So it's important for artists to send out a message, because messages come from us artists most of the time. So
Very
it's
true.
very important
It
that
doesn't have to be more conscious.
exactly that we use what our God-given talent to let people know that, hey, there are people out there that are fighting for us every day, that protect us with their lives, and we need to give a shout out to the Army. Wives, kids, you're awesome. You're awesome.
So how can we all keep in touch with you? How can we get to?
You can find me on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, at XLG Skinny. Check out my music and, just let me know what you think, fans. Let me know what you think.
For me, it's LMaxim, LMAXIM_artist, Facebook, Twitter, and my number is 301-905-8299. Don't be scared to hit that. I'm going to answer.
Okay. All right. Well, we wish you all the best of luck. Thank you so much for coming on today. And we got to have you back and keep up with you guys. So when we come back, we'll be talking to nationally recognized gospel jazz artist and contemporary Christian author, Terrence Richburg. Stay tuned to get more food for your soul. We'll be right back.
Nice show.
Yeah,
Wow, this is beautiful. Awesome.
A full life, measured in seats, starts with the right ones early on. Car crashes are a leading killer of children 1 to 13. Learn how to prevent deaths and injuries by using the right car seat for your child's age and size.
We're back on Food for the Soul. I'm your host, Keanna Swindell, and today we're talking with local artists who are following their dreams. Now, joining us now is nationally recognized jazz artist and author of the book, Intimacy, Missing Piece in the Puzzle of True Love and Close Relationships, Mr. Terrence Richburg. Thank you for joining us. Terrence, how are you?
I am so pleased to be here.
Oh, good.
I'm so glad to be here.
Okay, well, we can't wait to talk to you because, you've got a lot going on and you've accomplished a lot. So tell us a little bit about your background. We understand that you actually started off in music.
Yeah, actually, I started off when I was a kid, really.
Okay.
Growing up in my parents' house, music all the time. So they kind of had me captured by just the whole thing of music. And in fact, my parents were national artists as well in terms of gospel.
Okay,
they had
gospel.
a group, yeah.
Okay.
And they recorded on the Atlantic label. So it was a fun time for me just growing up in that environment.
Imagine.
And also my aunt was also involved with jazz.
Oh, wow.
Ronnie Wells, she's a very well-known artist around here as well. And so I just kind of got inundated with it. And from there, it just took off, and I learned piano first, and I started actually performing pretty early, around 13 years old. Yeah.
Oh, wow. You come from music.
Yes.
Basically,
yes.
You have a whole music background. So
Yeah.
gospel music, huh? So what about some of your own personal accomplishments with music? How far has music taken you thus far?
Well, one of the things it allowed me to do was to form a label, which is Rich Escape Music.
Okay.
And under that label, of course, I recorded a project with a friend of mine, Howard Raleigh Jr.
Okay.
It's called Ascension.
Nice. You're doing it.
Gospel jazz CD. But I also had another artist, his name was Terrell Hunt, and we did a project that actually got a Stellar nomination.
Okay.
So we've been.
Stellar. Oh, that's
yeah.
big. That's really big.
So we've been doing a lot.
Okay,
It's been great, yeah.
So now you're into writing. How did that transition happen? Yeah, how did that happen? How'd you go from gospel, your music and gospel music and jazz, and then now you're writing? So well, you wrote a book, but were you doing more writing before that, or?
Well, actually, I was doing writing before then.
Okay.
I was doing more articles. I did some CD covers for people, like the liner notes and that kind of thing. Mostly articles about music-related issues. But as I started to really reflect upon my life and the things that I've been through, I thought that it might be a good thing to kind of put some things to paper and on a more serious note. And I kind of realized that, you know, despite accomplishments in music and that kind of thing, the most important thing I feel in life are relationships. And so I wanted to really focus on that and bring attention to how important those are.
So do you feel like all of your experiences, like, you know, with music and with gospel and jazz and everything have helped influence, like, or help set a type of foundation for your book and what you know?
Yeah, interestingly enough, writing songs is somewhat similar to writing a book.
Okay.
It's a little bit more in depth, obviously.
Well, yeah.
But when you're writing lyrics, you want to tell a story. You want to let people know about something that's either profound to you or something that might register with them. And so as I started to write the book, I started to reflect on just the lessons of love and the lessons of how close relationships impact your life in general. And it's not just on a human level, but I also relate it to a spiritual level as well.
Ah, okay. So that's what I was going to ask you is how what do you want your reader to take away from Intimacy Missing Piece? Like, oh, let me see your book there. Yeah. What do you want your reader to take away from it? Like, what were you trying to get, the point you were trying to get across by writing this particular book?
I think the most important thing that I wanted people to gain from reading the book is that life is short. And I think it's an important thing to really understand how we connect with people. And it's not, when you're talking about romantic relationships, for one thing, a lot of times things that we learn over our lives are important that we need to share with others. And so things that I've learned in my relationships, whether they've been good relationships or bad relationships, I've learned something from those. And I think everyone actually, as they go through life, can share something that will teach someone something that they can apply to their relationship. Life is about really sharing love, sharing good times, bad times. But you have to be a person to be able to really relate to what people are going through. One of the things that's in this book, I've written stories that kind of illustrate different aspects of intimacy, which really deals with how close we are to each other. Intimacy is not just in terms of love relationships, but our relationships in our families, our relationships to our friends, different individuals in our lives that we live with and we meet with and deal with every day. And so I kind of wanted to touch on things that I thought would help people to better relate and also draw them closer to each other and to God.
And that's what I think, speaking of God, I think that's what sets your book aside, like sets it aside from so many other intimacy or so-called self-help books or relationship books, is that you really do tie in the spiritual aspect, and you're talking about not just intimate relationships, but like you said, relationships with, you know, if you're not intimate with this person, just relationships in general. Correct. Because here in life, that's what we have is relationships, you know, one way or the other. Yeah. So I really definitely really feel like that's something that sets this book apart. I love this book, first of all. But speak on the topic of intimacy. Have you noticed in your research and while writing the book that intimacy is a topic that is not so easily talked about? Do you feel like when
and in fact, I talk about that in the book, that it's not easily talked about, because I think a lot of people really don't understand what intimacy is. Obviously, there's a physical relationship with your loved one, but intimacy really has to do with how you relate to someone spiritually, how close you are to them, how you understand what makes them tick, how they think, how they feel, how they, what makes them laugh, what makes them cry.
Well, see, look, don't give it all away. Don't tell them everything. Don't tell them everything. How can our viewers? How can we get in touch with you and find out more about the Terrence Richburg?
Well, first thing you can do is go to the book website, which is intimacy.com.
Okay.
It's intimacyrich.com.
Intimacyrich.com.
Right.
Okay.
And my website is www.terrencerichburg.com.
TerrenceRichburg.com.
And you can find out about the book and my music as well.
Okay. Well, Terrence, thank you so much for joining us on the show today.
Thank you.
I know a lot of people are going to really enjoy this book. You need to pick it up and go read it. So, well, that's all the time we have for now. I hope that today you were able to get your fix of spiritual and intellectual nourishment. And again, I'm your host, Keanna Swindell, and we will see you next time on Food for the Soul.